Now that we have all of our input elements collected together with the uploaded file names, all we have to do is now to process our Ajax request. So $sign for jQuery Ajax, 2 brackets and 2 curly inside of them, semicolon after this, and we start with type. It's going to be post. Then we have data type. The format in which we want this to be data to be returned is going to be JSON. Then we go for URL, which will be mod/send.php. Then we have data, and data will be fields index with this array. And then we have files, this files array, then semicolon, sorry, not semicolon, comma, and on success, we want to execute the function data as parameter. Inside of the success, we check if data, first of all, if anything has been returned, then we check if isn't data error, again, if index error was false, then else if data validation is present. And I'm going to do this else if statement first. Form object validate, and we pass in data validation as parameter so that this validate method can take care of displaying all the validation errors. So if error index is equals false, basically, then this form dot parent, and we're looking for form wrapper, the div with the ID form wrapper, which wraps the whole form, then fade out, so the entire element, including form, all obviously of the uploaded files, buttons, and so on, they fade out at the speed of 200 milliseconds. Then function on callback. And inside of the callback, what we're going to do is we first reset the form. So form object dot reset, so that all of the fields are cleared. Some browsers, even though we reloading the page, will still keep the values inside of the form, like for instance Firefox. That happens very often in Firefox. And we pass in the parameter here, this form. After this one, we go for this dot replace with, and we want to replace it with, and we're going to create the object out of the message returned from the server, data message. We're going to hide it initially and then fade it in at the speed of 200 milliseconds. Then we have function on callback again. Let me just do the semicolon here straight away. And I think I've forgotten one semicolon here as well for the first fade out. Yeah. So now that we have it faded in, then what we want to do is create variable called this object equals this, and I'm going to scroll up so you can see a little bit better. Var this delay equals set timeout function, which will be executed after 5 seconds, 5000 milliseconds, the semicolon after this, and it's going to be this object fade out, so this confirmation message fades out at the speed of 200 milliseconds. And again, we go for the callback function. Once this has happened, semicolon after this, location dot reload, and that's going to reload the page. So we, first of all, what's happening, once we've submitted, everything's fine, we got the response from the server, all fields have been validated, an email has been sent, we get the response says everything's fine, proceed. We first fade out the entire container, basically the form button and whatever else we've uploaded there. We fade it out, we fade in the message which we returned as well with the Ajax call. This message is there for 5 seconds, fades out, and the page reloads. That's basically what's happening here. So, believe it or not, we are done with our form object. We can now dive into the next chapter.